lawful wedded husband.
To be my...
Barbara not Barbara Jean's heart. With a tramp like you?
Well, I know it hurts being third rate, but aren't you accustomed to it yet?
Oh, Robin, I see you. I myself the slut of Springfield!
Son of a bitch in heat.
I found out myself what love is all about.
Hey everybody, it's me, Nikki. Now let's talk about what's going on down there to the GH. What is happening? So at this point in time, Trina and Ava meet up, and Ava was like, listen, I want to give you this painting. I want to give this to you as your Christmas bonus. And Trina was like, listen, I want you to hold on to this just in case you need it financially. But she was like, take the painting. And she was like, hold on to it instead. I don't know how Trina knew that Ava was gonna need that painting, but she gonna need that painting because we all know that Ava no longer has the cast iron fortune that was awarded to her in her divorce settlement. She also no longer owns Windermere. She don't have nothing. She don't got nothing. So Trina ends up seeing Kai, and they're at the Port Charles Grill. So she ends up seeing Kai, and there's like this event going on where it's like, I think it's like a boosters event, and it's like a lot of schmoozing is required. And she's like waiting for him to talk to him because, people are taking pictures with him. He meeting the children, shaking hands, kissing babies, all those great things. And he don't look comfortable. So she was like, listen, I know they talk about you got to go back downstairs, but I need your help with this project. And basically, I'll help you get up out of here if you want to. And that's what he wants. And they end up leaving. And it's just like, shout out to them getting this cute little moment. I love that for them. I do. Now Jocelyn and Jason are down at Bobby's talking, and she was like, initially she thought it was Sonny who had Dex targeted, and that's what happened. But now at this point, she's not believing it. And Jason was like, listen, I don't think it was Sonny. I don't think it was any of his men trying to impress him. Listen, Sonny gave his word. He wasn't going. I think one thing about it is, unless you do something to Sonny after he gives his word, he's not gonna do nothing to you. And that's something you could you really do have to count on with Sonny and him being like this type of guy that's just like, once I give you my word, unless you do something to me, I'm not gonna do nothing to you. I'm gonna leave you alone. But Jason is like, listen, I'm going to help you. I'm going to look into it, and I'm going to get you the closure you want and the closure you need. So as we move on, Michael is down there talking to Diane, and he's giving her the details of the situation. How Willow and Drew kissed 6 months ago, and how the nanny cam caught them bumping and grinding in the nursery on the floor, and obviously how it was broadcast to everybody. And she was like, Tracy's never been good with technology. But what were the reactions? And he tells her that, the people were pissed accordingly. His mama went off. Ned and Tracy went off. Everybody was, they was doing a big one at this point. And he explains that, hey, I allowed Nina and Willow to take the kids. And she was like, she didn't like it because it's going to allow Martin to spend, the video being released into Michael being vindictive. And she was like, listen, I know you're hoping to get your marriage back, and I know you're hoping for an amicable split, and that y'all can have joint custody and all these great things, and y'all can be friends after. But Nina has the resources to drag all this out. So what is it that you want if we can't get the reconciliation or the amicable split? What is it that you want? And his whole thing is, I don't want, this to be a back and forth thing. I don't want any issues. I don't want any problems. I just want to be able to be there for my kids. I want to be a father to my children. I don't want them taken from me, but I also don't want them taken from Willow. And it's just like, at the end of the day, Michael, you can want all these great things, but let's be clear on something. With Drew, Nina, and Willow all working together, they're going to try to take your children away from you. And I'm not saying you have to play dirty, but at the end of the day, your wife had an emotional affair with your uncle for months without telling you, and then she kissed him twice without telling you. And the only reason she told you is because she started to feel absolutely guilty, and she actually didn't tell you. It was Ned and Drew who told you because little James heard and told the information. And I know you went and slept with Sasha that night after you got wild, butt naked, white girl wasted drunk down to the brown dog. But then your wife turned around and had sex with your uncle and didn't even tell you, and still has tried to turn it on you like you're the bad guy in this situation, and like her and Drew have done nothing wrong. In reality, they both did something completely and utterly wrong. They knew they were wrong when they began having their emotional affair. They knew they were wrong when they decided to kiss each other not once but twice and keep it for you. And they knew they was damn wrong for sleeping with each other and then trying to use Sam's death as a reason as to why it happened. Be so fucking for real right now. You're gonna have to fight tooth and nail for your children because Nina is not gonna give it up, and Willow gonna be looking like a dumb bitch when it comes out that Nina and Drew have been sleeping together this entire time. But we move on. And he's like, I'll do whatever it takes to stay in my children's lives. I just want to be there for my kids. Nothing more, nothing less. I want my family, but if I can't have my family, I just want to be there for my children. I don't want them taken from their mother, but I want to be there for them. So she, she's like, listen, sign his paperwork. He does. I'm going to contact Martin, see what we could do. And she's like, listen, I need full transparency. So is there anything I should know? Anything you need to tell me? Say it now or prepare to face my wrath. And you don't want to face the wrath of Diane. Now, mind you, Diane just came off a vacation back to this BS. So y'all really don't want the wrath of Diane. No, you don't. So Michael was like, listen, hold that thought. I got to make me a quick call. Now, Maxie and Sasha, they down there at the house, down there getting their nails done and everything. And Sasha's looking for houses. She says she's going to plan to move back to the Hamptons to have a fresh start for her and the baby. And Maxie was like, don't you want to tell the family about the baby before you leave? And she was like, no. The more people who know, the harder, the harder it will be to leave. And she's like, so this don't have nothing to do with the father of the baby. And she says, she hadn't even told the father of the baby anything. We know the father of the baby is Michael. And she insists that that's not why she's leaving. And she tells Maxie that it wasn't an easy decision to leave, but Maxie was making it easier by being there for her and, the way she's handling things. And Maxie was like, really? Because that's not usually me. Usually Maxie goes head first and just gets all types of crazy. And it's just like, no, girl, you cool or whatever. So they finish getting their nails done, and Michael's, calls Sasha and is like, hey, I gotta meet up. I want to talk to you about something important. Now, Emma, aka Robin's daughter, is nothing like Robin. She's sitting up here lying to Anna, okay? She's sitting up here lying to Anna straight to her face. She been gone for most of the night. She ain't talked to her mama like she claimed. And Anna tells Emma, I know you've been expelled, and I know you didn't transfer to PCU. And she was like, listen, the reason I was expelled was not my fault. I invited 10 people to a dorm party, and then half the dorm showed up. Someone set off the sprinklers, which, did a lot of damage to the building, and, 200 students were displaced. But it wasn't her who did it, but she took the blame for it. And she was like, okay, that's cool and everything, but listen, this is what's going to happen. You're going to unsign whatever lease you claim to have, you know, sign, you're going to live with me instead. And if you don't do that, you're going back on a plane to California. And listen, Emma was not happy. So she left to go get some coffee and she ends up passing Jason on the way out. And it was like, ooh, see, Emma is definitely the opposite of Robin. So it's given very much like you, your daddy, and your granddaddy, both the grandfathers, and your grandmama. You more like them than anything. Because you ain't nothing like Robin. Robin was a goody two shoes. Such a goody two shoes. So Jason tells Anna, hey, Lulu went to Prague to find Charlotte, and Dante is arriving right behind her. And she's, Anna's concerned about being, Lulu being followed and that she would lead someone to Valentine and Charlotte in Prague. And it's just like she did. She was followed by Brennan's, second in command. She's been followed and she was talking to strangers. Leslie Lulu needs to stop talking to strangers, but that's neither here nor there. And down at Bobby's, Jocelyn is talking to Brennan. She's waiting on him at the table, and she asked for a favor. She was like, is it possible for you to get the satellite images of the day that Dex was stabbed? And he was like, they're only kept for 48 hours, so he couldn't help her. And we're starting to see that when you ask him for a favor and he tells you no, he gonna end up doing it anyway. I think he has real feelings for um I think he has real feelings for Carly. I do. I think the feelings he has for Carly are growing and real, and that he likes Carly and he likes her brand of chaos coming into his world. I'm not even gonna hold you. So when it comes into Bobby's, she's like, "Oh, Jocelyn's working here," and Jocelyn explains that, "Hey, my family owns it, and we ended up changing the name." And then she was like, well, can I get you a coffee to go? And she was like, oh, I was going to take it to go anyway. But since seeing you, I want to catch up. And it's just like, we all know that Jocelyn and Emma were never really cool like that. They were never friends. They were never tight. So Emma proceeds to say, oh, I've been on Cam's socials and I see that he's been in town. And she's like making it a point to drive it home that, yeah, we weren't that far with our universities. We weren't that far from each other. And I introduced him to his new girlfriend, and she's amazing. And it's just like they definitely took on the beef that their mothers had with each other from all those years ago. But here's the problem with this situation. Here's the problem with this situation. You sitting up here doing all of this. You sitting up here being very super damn judgmental, trying to rub it in Jocelyn's face that you introduced Cam to his new girlfriend, which I have no problem with because I wanted Cam to have a new girlfriend. I couldn't stand how Jocelyn did him. I never forgive her for that one because you could have broke up with that boy before you did all that stuff. But you sitting up here rubbing it in her face, and it's just like, now which one of us has gotten expelled from college? Which one of us took the rap for people who, you should have just been like it was them and kept it pushing? Who else ran away from home to their grandmother and now has to live with her? Oh, oh, that's you, Emma. Girl, don't do it. Don't try it. So, like I said, every time y'all ask Brendan for something, he'd be like, "Oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it," and then ends up doing it. So he comes to thank Jocelyn for the food and the service, and Jocelyn introduces him to Emma, and she tells Jocelyn that, oh yeah, Anna and Brennan used to work together. So boom. When Brennan get outside, he's like, listen, I need you to pull the footage from December 10th. I need you to pull the footage from December 10th. And I was like, what is going on? So Martin calls a meeting for Laura and Alexis. And, when before he gets there, Alexis and Laura are catching up. She thanked Laura for being generous with the donation to the hospital in Sam's name. Martin, which is a good thing. And then Martin comes in and said that, the Cassadine estate has been revised and now Ace is now the heir to the entire fortune, and Alexis was the trustee. And Laura was like, I don't want him to have anything to do with the money. He has enough money. He has enough to do with everything. And Alexis says, she never wanted to hear the term Cassadine estate ever again, but here we are. Here we about to go. So Laura and Alexis agree, okay, we're just going to liquidate the estate and give the funds to charity. And Martin was like, it's not going to be that easy. You have to wait until he comes of age and he could decide what to do with it. And until then, they had to take care of this state. And, Laura was like, at least, Alexis is going to handle everything. At least she can be trusted to care for Ace and take care of all that stuff. And she was like, fine. And so she's looking at the paperwork. She was like, there's a mistake. She was like, Windermere has been included as part of the estate. And she was like, that's what is going on here because that belongs to Ava. And Martin was like, oh, not anymore. That does not belong to her. And she was like, oh, why, Martin? Why didn't you leave with that? Like, why didn't you leave with the fact that Ava no longer has Windermere? Which is been Ava's whole thing when it came to this whole custody situation. She has Windermere, she has all these things, so that could have been her place to stay. And it's just like she has no money and she does not have Windermere. That's gonna be a bad look when it comes to her custody agreement. Or like this fight for custody over Avery. Now Lulu, she's in a cafe and she's waiting for Charlotte, and it was like she's having this long wait, and she's thinking she's in the wrong place, only for Charlotte to pop up on her like, "Hello, mother, I'm here." So when Charlotte comes inside, they're hugging, and she's like, "I can't believe you're so grown up." And she was like, "I know I have to keep this brief," and they get caught up on the family and the liver transplant and how she wished, she was there for Lulu to be awake, but her papa needed her, and she told Lulu they're staying in a remote village outside of Prague and that they traveled a lot. And she was like, Papa wants me to see the world, but I think it might just be to throw off whoever's following us. So Lulu tells Charlotte she needed her to come home, but Charlotte said she couldn't leave Valentine because he would be devastated to be alone. Okay, I can't leave my father alone. And Lulu didn't want to guilt trip her and said that being separated from Charlotte is killing her. And it's just like, child, this is a mess. And it's like one parent, like both parents' selfishness is not doing anything for this girl because Lulu wants her home, but Valentine wants her traveling with him. And it's just like at some point, y'all gotta stop being selfish and think about what's good for the kid and not what's good for y'all. I'm talking about both of y'all. And Charlotte was like, I understand how you feel. The hardest part about being away is being apart from you. So Lulu told her, listen, when she woke up and found out that she was going to broke her heart, and she was like, he's a fugitive. What kind of life is that for you? And she was like, listen, me and him will have a great life together. And Lulu was like, I'm happy for you. And listen, we'll get a piece of cake, we'll share it. But when Charlotte steps away, Lulu puts a tracking device in, Charlotte's purse. And like they're talking and everything. And then Charlotte's face like went from happy to my god. And when it turns to the my god, Valentine is in the window staring up like a creeper. I said, Valentine, what are you doing? No, sir. No, you can't do that. You can't be looking like a creep, okay? Get it together, pull it together. No. You knew she was gonna want her mama. You knew her mama was coming back for her. I don't know why this surprises you. I don't know why this is like, oh my god, I didn't know. You knew. You knew. Because you still getting updates. You knew. But with that being said, that was it. That was all I don't have more to give y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed them soaps, this GH recap. We'll get into more later on in the week. But I hope y'all enjoyed it. And with that being said, I'll see y'all for the next one. Well, before I see y'all for the next one, don't forget to hit those links in the description box down below. Follow me on my socials. Also hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and also hit that notification bell so you can be kept up about all the things that are going on over here. And then also, don't forget, just to be nice to yourselves. That is the word of the day. Be nice to yourselves. With that being said, I'll see y'all for the next one. Bye.